Wig, did you just say wig?
Wig, okay.
I know, wig. I feel that already.
Wig, okay.
Wig, did you just say wig?
Wig, okay.
There we go. All right.
I am ready
want
for
me to
my
start?
wig
Yeah.
to go flying.
Oh my God. Hi kids. It's the middle of October. Reportedly. When this
Is
is
it?
coming out, yes.
Before we start, I think we need to just talk about the glam novels.
Oh yeah, we
I didn't
should.
put that down, but like we really need to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, before that, hi, I'm Martyr.
Oh yeah, FC Tepper.
And this is Wigging. Welcome, kids.
Sorry, we're a mess already.
Yeah, it's been a busy a month, and it's been like what? We're recording this like 3 days
So
in.
3 days in,
4 days in.
on October 3rd, they asked me what day. Yes.
Happy boyfriend day or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Caitlin.
what the hell was that?
I don't know.
Gross.
So glams, you should talk about it.
Okay. If you are in the New York City nightlife arena and can vote to nominate people, our category is always for public vote, but the nomination process is only for people working in New York.
Yeah.
If you have a code, please consider us. If you're
Yeah.
listening to us, I'm assuming you like us. So please vote us in. We don't really care about winning. We just want to be nominated every year. So
Yeah.
let's keep this 3-year streak going. We want to lose to Monet Exchange again.
Yes.
Please.
And also this year I am running for Doragatus.
Oh, yeah.
Year. So if you feel so inclined to nominate me, that would be great.
Also, we have to shout out. We're part of the WERRRK family, so we also want Chiffon Dior for best nightlife writer, Strawberry Fields for best vocalist, and the Strawberry Social for best drag brunch, and Jim Silvestri for best nightlife writer as well, because he is now part of the WERRRK family as well. That's it. Okay.
Beautiful.
PSA done.
Yeah. Well, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Caitlin, who are we doing today? What are we doing? Who are we talking to?
We have gone international, but it's been a really long time. We were talking about it before, like this episode started recording. We haven't had an international guest or even like a national guest really in a long time. We've been very New York focused, but that's about to change. I found her at my store at Isley.
You did.
It's Miss Icy Moon.
Hi guys, what's up?
Welcome,
Yay.
welcome.
Nice to be here.
We should preface that I don't know how many hours exactly you are ahead of us, but 7. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it is currently like
1:30 in the morning.
almost 2.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us on our little show. We really appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you like bringing me here.
Of
So much fun.
course.
We like learning about drag from places that
International.
aren't New York.
Yeah,
honestly.
we really do.
And I
So,
like talking about myself, so let's do it.
yeah, we're here for it. We're here for it. So this is a question I ask a lot of people, but this could be a different answer from what we usually get. Where are you from originally?
So I was born and raised and I still live in Tel Aviv, Israel, which is like one of the most like known cities you hear about when you talk about Israel. It's very much like nightlife based, very much fun. It's very progressive too. And it's pretty known for also having one of the best pride parades ever.
I didn't know that.
I vaguely had an understanding of that actually. I saw a bunch of documentaries like a couple years ago, and it was all about the Tel Aviv like pride celebrations, and specifically in that country. Yeah, it was weird. Anyways, tangent over.
So growing up, how did you get into drag?
So I was actually only exposed to it by like the beginning of high school. I was like browsing through the internet and I was like finding some, at the time I called them like weird videos of like those glamorous women who were like not the women that I knew of. Like it was specifically Nona Shaland, who is like a very she's like an amazing Israeli drag queen. She's like very much fashion based, and she did like a few videos with like some fashion brands, some like fashion designers. And when I saw it at first, I was like, what the F is that? But I was like so intrigued. I was like scared, but at the same time, I was like, I cannot stop watching this. It's so awesome. And like slowly but surely, I was exposed to Drag Race, of course, which is like one of the main medias to like be exposed to drag by. And I remember the first season I watched was season 8 because it was just airing. And I just felt like I actually like could identify with most of the people on the show. And I was like, these are like my type of people, like, you know? So it was like love at first sight, you could say.
Who was your favorite on that season?
On 8, either Kimchi or Bob.
Good choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started drag at 16 in high school. What?
Well, I kind of lied there, but it wasn't like actually like starting doing drag. It was doing like drag in my bedroom.
Okay, bedroom drag.
Yeah, bedroom drag. I used to have like at the time my own like bathroom too, and like my own flat in the house. And I would just lock myself in the bathroom with like my kit of stolen makeup that I took from my mom's like Halloween prom kit. And I would just paint my face, take a few photos, and immediately take it off and go to dinner like nothing happened. And I was just like so intrigued by the way that I could change my face and alter myself through like makeup and through like character design. And slowly I was like, okay, so I'm gonna start like sewing some things for myself, because I'm sewing since the age of 4. And like this was like, yeah. So it was like a natural progression to like start making actual outfits. Which, am I allowed to curse on this?
Of course, we're explicit.
Oh, yeah, the first ones were like shit, but but there were, you know, skirts and dresses that I never wore before except for like costumes. And I was like, well, that actually like is pretty nice. And I was like dancing to myself and I was like, this is very fun. So I started searching actual shows in Tel Aviv that were for like beginners. And at the time there was this one line of shows that was called Chromosome. And it was all for like beginners, for first timers. And that was my first show like at 18. So I did bedroom drag for like 2 years before that.
So how did you decide on your name?
Oh, this is like a weird one because everyone asked me, is there anything like that stands behind it? Is it like a meaningful thing? And I'm like, no. I really liked Winx Club when I was a kid.
Oh.
And yeah, and when I started like doing the bedroom drag that I used to do, my best friend, she used to do drag too, like as a hyper feminine queen.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to be called Luca's sun. And I was like, oh, if she's the sun, then I'm gonna be the moon. And that's how I got to it. But it's a pretty silly name. I was like, should I change it? Should I not? And it's just stuck to me so far. So I'm like
it.
Thank you. I like it too. And apparently I found out it's also a term in like astronomy. Like an icy moon is a moon of a star that is mainly made of ice.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives me Sailor Moon vibes.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
One of my options for a name was Taylor Moon.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
That sounds like that sounds like a pop star name.
Yeah, no, it does.
I'm like into
I
that.
know.
I'm into it.
But I was like, I feel obliged that if that would be my name, to only do Taylor Swift songs.
That's true. You'd be screwed.
Yeah.
And in a Sailor Moon outfit. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Honestly, I would pay good money for that.
Yeah.
So our viewers probably know American drag a little bit more. What is drag in Israel like?
So I think that drag in Israel throughout like the past 5 or 6 years has been very influenced by American drag. Obviously, like I think all over the world we have like the Drag Race influence. But it still like remains very true to what it was, which is very based in performance. Like, I don't know, in Israel, when I was in New York, it was like oh, what should I do? Because in Israel, we do not tip the queens. Like, we do
Yeah.
not have change that is like in paper form. Like, I don't know
Oh,
what to
it's
say.
in like
Yeah.
coins.
It's coins, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you cannot throw metal coins.
No.
No. So I was like, oh, so how much should I bring? How much this? And in Israel, because you cannot like really leave the stage unless you're like doing some interaction with the audience, it's really focused on like doing the performance and like making a story out of it. And we don't have like time to burn, like going collecting tips. So it's like all about what it looks like from the audience to the stage. Usually we do not have like one outfit per show. Like, it's like between every single thing, you feel the need to switch up. Also because we usually have like bigger lineups because we don't have as many shows as there are in New York. I wish there was. Like, I wish there was a show like each and every night. We have maybe 2 a week or like 1 a week. That's
What?
crazy. Yeah.
What?
Yes. There's only like I think like 2 or 3 weekly shows in the entire state of Israel.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
weird. Because I
It's
know
like
Israel's
Mhm.
pretty progressive, like as far as like I'm sure there's like a good gay population over there who want it.
Mhm.
there's like a huge queer population that is like very into drag, and the drag community is like very evolved, mostly like in the past few years, but it's still not something that people can do and like actually make a living out of. So most
Oh.
people still do it like half time and still have day
Mm.
jobs.
Mm.
So it's very hard to like make the scene more like daily, you know.
Gotta change this.
I know, right? Like, we have to. I was in New York for like a month and I was like, damn, like there's shows all the time. This is heaven. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
You
No,
could be
there's-
do drag full time here. No problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easy. Most girls do.
I mean not most, but a lot do. A lot do.
Yeah, a lot do.
My coworker just quit their job at Isley to do drag full time, so it's just like normal. Mhm.
Oh, by the way, did you tell Martyr how like we found out that I do drag and you do this podcast?
it's so I kind of remember because I deal with a lot of people at my job. I sell jewelry, mainly like drag focused jewelry, but I sell to everybody. But so you knew about our brand and you were like explaining it in Hebrew, I guess, to your friends who were with you. And I was like, oh, you know who we are. And then like I don't know, we figured out that you did drag. And I was like,
I was like, yeah, I know you from drag, and you're like, oh, cool, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like
no,
that.
I'm like, oh, a drag queen, no wonder. And then I'm like, all right, we gotta hook you up. Get you something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I got those awesome like ear cuffs that I still walk around with all the time.
Yes. Did you get 2?
I got to, yeah.
Okay, perfect. The ear
Yeah.
cuffs, it's so funny because with Isley, like if anyone does drag, ear cuffs is like for the drag queens, like the starter pack. Like that's what you start with, and then you get everything.
Because they're so beautiful.
They're cute. I have a pair.
Everyone has it.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah, so that was such a funny thing. And then like I found out more about you, and now you're here.
Yay. Again,
Uh,
I'm so happy to be doing this. This is
yeah.
like incredible.
Well,
I fell in love with like the New York drag and like the entire scene around it. So like my dream is to move to New York at some point and live there. Just need to figure out the like entire visa thing.
I watched so much 90 Day Fiance. I feel like I could fill your visa out for you. Like I just
'Cause that's a
watched
good
so much.
reflection. That's a good reflection, kids. 90 Day Fiance.
No, honestly, they don't really go too in depth with the visa process, but it's very complicated and crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
We're gonna get you here.
Let's do it. I already filled one visa for like my summer job there, but let's do
Oh,
it.
that's good. I mean, a work visa is the easiest one to get. I don't know
Yeah.
if like Hell's Kitchen is giving out drag queen work visas lately, but we can find out.
I'm sure we can find a way.
There should be a drag queen visa.
There should be. Let's make that happen, US government. So you've done Wigstock Israel. What is that? Because I know what
So-
Wigstock is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Israel sort of like adopted the idea of Wigstock in a way of like celebrating like the like Pride Month in a way, by making like a huge festival with a huge drag show, and there's like free blood testing for STDs and STIs, and it's all like it used to be in like some park, and then they moved it to like near the beach, and it's like a very big event. And the year that I did it, it was transferred by like the people that had the rights for it. They transferred it to an actual like drag owned line of shows, and they were like, oh, so you want to take this opportunity and give the stage to some like beginner queens. And I was like, I think 1 year after like starting doing like shows, and my first show was in that line, and they were like, so do you want to come over and like do a number? And I was like, are you serious? This is like crazy, because it's like a very big event, there's like press there and everything, and I was still like not completely out about my drag too. Yeah, but me and my best friend, who at the time still did drag, the one I told you about, we were like, let's do it together, let's do like a duet number. And I remember that being like one of my first numbers that I was actually like fully happy about. And like you know how it is when you do a number, you usually like critique yourself right after, and you're like, oh, I could have done it better. But that one I was so like in love with from the moment we started walking it and after we got off the stage. And I'm so proud of that achievement, because I feel like, you know, it was for a good cause. It was like voluntarily mostly, and it was for like promotion of HIV, like education, and like being more aware of it. So I was very happy about it.
My question is, did Lady Bunny pop up out of nowhere?
I wish.
I don't know if she's ever been there.
We don't have Lady Bunny, but we have like a few other people.
Because people like Lady Bunny.
For some reason.
One Lady Bunny is enough. Let's put
Yeah.
that way. We can't wait to lose to her again this year. Yay.
Yeah.
Technically next year.
Oh my god.
Are there any drag performers who have influenced your drag?
I think that I mentioned kimchi before. Like I always got drawn to the queens who are like aesthetic based, but also brought like the aesthetics to their like drag personality, and like being her being like more of a anime inspired drag queen, and doing like a very cutesy character from time to time, but still like being shady. I like related to that.
She's so shady. Shade
she is, and I love that. Like
Me too.
I really talk shit.
Good, as one should.
Yeah, and I usually try to hide it by being like very like, oh yeah, I love everyone, and I do, but I also love making fun of everyone. It's a part of it, you know.
Of course. So how would you describe your drag performance style for someone who's never seen you perform?
So I'm not like a trained dancer, but I can wiggle my body in a way. And I usually really like to tell a story with my performances. I would say I'm not trained in anything of that. I'm more of like a visual artist in my training, but I would say that my drag performance aesthetic is more of like an act, like I'm more of acting instead of like dancing. So I want to tell a story, whether it is with my facial expression, with my body, with like my props, my outfit. It all combines into telling a story. So when I compose a number, I usually think of what the story is. Like I make a character for each different number. And yeah, that's what I focus about.
What types of songs have you used?
What?
What type of songs have you used to perform?
Oh, lots of like Britney and Gaga, but
It's just universal. It's just universal.
You cannot not do it. I mean, I am like a big Gaga fan. Like I'm a little monster. I'll forever will be. And I also like, you know, just find specific songs that are not like specific artists that speak to me. Usually it is from like the pop genre. Just because I like to have like a beat to dance to when I do it. But yeah, I'm not gonna like knock any song or music genre before I try it.
So I have a question. I'm going a little off topic, but it's on the same topic. Do they do straight up songs in Israel, or do they do mixes where they like cut things up?
So the classic way to do it in Israel is just like a full song,
Yeah.
like people being lazy, not editing it. But I started seeing more and more people doing mixes. I do like a few, I think. It's usually like 2 songs and you just put them one after the other.
Okay. Yeah,
like,
yeah. No,
edit
but
it together. But
that's
there are
unusual.
people, yeah, but there are people doing like sound effects and like editing it to be like a full on like mix of like 5 to 6 songs with a few like TikTok sounds or vines inside it, which I personally love because it brings so much comedy into it and it makes it so much like easier to follow the number without being like, oh, cool, like it's still going on.
Yeah, I figured you probably saw a lot of mixes in New York, so I was wondering if it had went over there. Because Drag Race itself still just does straight up songs because they're not paying for rights for anything.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in New York, I was so inspired by the drag that they do there because it's like, it's 3 queens. Like I used to go a lot to, can I name drop?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I used to go to H2Ho all the time, every weekend, hosted by Laguna Blue, Castrata, and Peaches. And it was so much fun. By the way, shout out to all those 3. They were amazing to me and like gave me tips on where to buy stuff for drag and just being really nice overall. And just being like 3 queens standing on the stage, not leaving for the entire night, just performing. I found it so admirable because it's like, it's so hard to keep an audience entertained and to do it one number after the other, no break, no costume changes, no nothing. It's such a hard job. And so I really like got highly inspired by it.
Yep. We like them too here.
Yeah.
Any of those girls can come on our show anytime.
When they're not booked or blessed.
Yeah, I mean, they're especially Laguna. She's on her own, like superstar.
Yeah, she just left
dimension.
for LA to do Drag the Musical.
Oh right, I forgot about that with Alaska. Alaska comes to New York a lot to do her shows too. But
yeah,
I would actually go to that show if they brought it here.
They might. I could see that.
Might.
$3 bill is very popular.
They should.
So
they should.
I think we should take our first little break, Caitlin.
Yep.
And we'll be right back, kids.
Wait, did you just say wait?
Bye.
Bye.
Wig, okay.
I know, wig. I feel that already.
Wig, okay.
Wig, did you just say wig?
Wig, okay.
I am ready for my wig to go flying.
And we're back.
Woo.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to do the first one?
Yeah, I was trying to get my questions open. Okay. Caitlin told me this earlier and I was kind of gagged. But and I guess we kind of mentioned it.
A little bit.
You performed in high school in drag at a graduation party. Please tell us the story. Please tell us.
So I went to like a professional art school that had like theater, art, dance majors. I was specifically in visual arts, and we have like this tradition of every, like at the end of every year, to do like a huge graduation party for the seniors. And all the teachers come there. We like rent a huge club that is actually used for band performances, and we just have a huge show of like laughing at the teachers and making fun of school, and it's like very much fun. But the people that organized it, they were like, hey, so you know how you do drag? And I was like, yeah. Do you want to do it in like the party, like the graduation party? And I was like, sure. What should I do? And they were like, so we saw a video of you, like one of your performances. Can you do Toxic by Britney Spears in a bodysuit in front of your teachers? And I was like, sure. And it was maybe one of the most awesome experiences in drag. I was just so like feeling so free in an environment that I was like, oh my God, like shit, my teachers are seeing me right now, and like the principal is here and he's gonna be like freaked out because I'm wearing literally like a cat suit. And it went so well. Like people still to this day, when I see like people from school, they like remember that specifically from that night. And my history teacher, who was like, I think 50 or 60 years at the time, she came up to me and she was like, we have to take a selfie. Like, I'm your biggest fan right now. And I was like, that was my biggest moment.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah, fuck Wigstock.
Yeah.
My history teacher seeing me in drag was the best.
I feel like this will be on like the next season of like Heartstopper or something.
Yes.
That's where I could see it. So you've created and operated the most followed and longest running drag Instagram account for Israeli drag appreciation.
Yes.
Explain.
So it's called Isra Drag, like ISRADRAG. Oh my gosh, you're still spelling me. But it like started off as a thing that I was like doing just for fun because I was bored during like the summer in between school years.
Okay.
And I was like, there is no like Instagram page appreciating drag. I saw so many appreciating American drag and drag all over the world.
Okay.
And I felt like, hey, we do things pretty well over here. Let's give the love back. So I started this account, and I was doing like some just like, reposting pics, and also I slowly started incorporating like doing show schedules and like advertising for other queens shows so that people know where to find them. And then we started doing some interviews with drag performers in Israel, and it grew and it grew. And now we're like, it's like almost like a little community. Like people who actually like come to Israel just to visit will like DM us and be like, hey, so when's the next show and where can I see Israeli drag in the next few days? And I just feel so happy about it because it did like bring a lot of attention to newer drag performers and to the fact that the Israeli drag scene is not just like what you see on like TV when they bring like the token drag queen to do like a talk show or something.
Oh, do they do that there?
They do that way too much.
Yeah, they do that all over the world too.
Yeah, I mean, we love the fact that people get the stage, but we want more.
Yeah,
we want more.
I'm looking at it now. This page is cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I will also give a shout out to my friend Lynn, who is also known as Rebel. She just joined me to the page a few months ago, and she's the one who is responsible for putting all the links to the show tickets. And she's doing this fabulously and really like filled in for my part when I was in New York. So shout out to her.
I love it. This is so cool.
Thank you.
Well, from serving your community to serving your country.
Oh no.
You did drag while doing time in the army?
Yes, this is a very loaded gun topic.
I know.
Literally.
But yeah, so in Israel, it is mandatory to serve a minimum time of 2 years and 8 months for guys and 2 years for girls in the army. I served in the Navy, and I always knew that I was like gonna do it. And I was actually like pretty happy about it. Like I'm a 3rd generation Navy veteran. My dad was in the Navy and his dad was in the Navy, so I felt like a deep connection to it. But yeah, doing drag like while still being in the army was pretty tough and be funny, because you get to meet in the army people from all over Israel. Like they're not just from Tel Aviv, which is like this sort of like social bubble. Like you're used to people being so liberal and very accepting, and then like you meet people from all around who may have never even met like a gay person, not to mention a drag queen. And like one of my best friends from the army, she's actually like a very religious Jewish girl, she has met maybe one gay person before she met me, and she was like, so wait, you kiss boys? And I was like, yep, it's a part of the game.
Oh my God.
But it was like so weird because I would like go out home to like for like the weekend, because I would sleep in the base, obviously. I would go out for the weekend and I have a show, and then I come back and my commander was like, so how was your weekend? And I was like, great, I performed. And she was like, oh, show me. And then when I showed it to her, she was like, this is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I need to see it more often. And I had, by the time that I finished my army service, I had both of my officers come to one of my shows.
Aw,
It was very fun and so wholesome. Yeah.
that's cute. I can't see that happening in America.
This would never happen in America at any point.
Why not?
As far as I know.
Yeah, well, as a
No,
coming from a military family.
yeah. Though the
Anyways.
military used to be really gay. I watched a whole documentary about it in America.
Oh,
I mean, they tried to find that Dorothy because they heard she had so many friends.
That's
Do you know
true.
do you know about that? Yeah.
yeah.
Not wrong. Okay. So you're part of a costume design for designer collective called Yeah Studio.
Yeah, so we actually formed this like collective only I think a year ago or so. So it's me and three of my friends whose names are Idan, Adam, and Danielle. Danielle is also a drag queen called Tequila Coster. I really recommend following her. She is amazing. She is like my sister in drag too. And so we started it because we're all like very design inclined and coming from the world of like doing costumes, sewing, making props. And it was just like a natural progression of our friendship and of like our connection to actually start producing outfits and costumes together. We mainly do drag outfits, but we also work with like circus performers and dancers and burlesque performers. We also like I'm mostly responsible for the social media aspect of it. But we had like a few days ago, not a few days, oh my gosh, my mind is like erased, I'm sorry. It was 2 weeks ago now.
Oh, okay.
We had our first like fashion show.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was so exciting and also so tiring. I went to the studio at 8 a.m. each morning and went back home at like 2 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
So I barely had sleep. I was just sewing blindly, like passing fabrics through the machine. But it turned out so well. I'm so proud of us, really.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite costumes that you've made?
So that one specifically, I was not actually a part of making, but I was like a part of encouraging it.
Yeah.
But we made for Tequila. She competed on the biggest drag competition in Israel. And she won.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we made her like an entrance look for the competition for when like she comes into the venue. It was like a huge Valkyrie moment, like from Nordic mythology. She had huge wings made of foam in like white and gold, and a huge breastplate and a helmet with also metallic wings on it. It was just so grand and dramatic as an entrance, and everyone were like, she's gonna win. She's gonna win this time. And she did.
Nice.
Hey, that's how you do it, Diva.
Yeah. Just bring the wings.
Honestly. You know about that, Martyr.
I do.
We love a set of wings.
They always gag the crowd, so I'm always here.
Yeah.
For that.
That's true.
I did wings by Little Mix with like blue wings and a red-headed wig, and I was like Bloom from from Winx Club again with the Winx Club performances, and they like ate it. They were like, "Yes, this is my childhood on the stage," and I was like, "Oh damn, awesome! More of me."
So you also did something really exciting like a week ago.
I did.
You
Yeah.
opened for Miss Raja Gemini.
I did.
What was that like?
So that was incredible. That was actually like the fashion show of our studio that I talked about.
Okay.
So, because Raja is like known to be like a fashion queen, they wanted to do fashion inclined numbers as the opening act. So they had our studio do a fashion show, which we did mostly fetish wear in combination with like drag queen outfits that we had. And then we had another opening act that I was also a part of as a model, not as a part of like the collective, of a designer called Kaylong from Israel, who's also like a fabulous drag queen. You could say she's the Israeli RuPaul. Like she's 8 feet tall probably, and like huge blonde hair, and she's like gorgeous. And she did a fashion show too, and I got to like perform both. So I spent a lot of time backstage there, and when I got to meet Raja, I was like, oh, I was out of it because I was a fan of her even before I knew what drag was. I was a fan of her when she was doing America's Next Top Model.
Me too.
Yes, I knew her as Sutan, like
yeah,
the makeup
me too.
artist Sutan. And oh my gosh, now that I remember it, my first time being exposed to drag, she did drag on the show.
She did.
She met the models like in drag. So apparently she was my first introduction to it. But I got to talk to her a little bit, and she's like the nicest person ever.
She is.
She's like so sweet and so chill. And then when I started talking to her about like me loving her so much, I started crying, and I was in full makeup. She just held my hand and was like, "Don't, you're ruining your lashes." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, but you're worth it." And it was really so much fun meeting her. Like ever since I started performing, I got to meet so many queens from like Drag Race from the show that visited Israel, and they were so incredible, so inspirational. It was amazing.
Yeah, that goes straight into our next topic. You met the girls from Drag Race. Who have you met?
Okay, so it's a small list, I think, for especially if you compare it to someone who is from the US. But I've met Raja, obviously. I've met Peppermint and Alexis Michelle, who, by the way, Alexis still follows me, so yay. Alexis, Peppermint, Raja, Bob, Monet, Trixie, Latrice Royale, and I think Manila too. I got to meet her like for a brief moment when she was in Israel. And yeah, so I met Brita Filter when I was in New York.
Yeah, that makes sense. What were those experiences like? Any favorite moment?
Who's the best and who's the worst? Go.
Yeah. Who do you never want to come back to Israel?
Oh, I'm not gonna talk about that. But I mean, nothing could replace the moment when I met Peppermint. She was always like my fave. Like from the moment she entered season 9, I was like, this is my fave to win. And I continued following her after the season ended, and on Pose too. And she's like, outside of her being a very talented performer and individual, she's also such a good person, and you can see it without even meeting her before. She's just so I don't know, she's so kind, and you can feel it through the screen. And when I met her, it was the year before the competition that Tequila won. She came to be like the guest judge on the competition with Alexis, and I was so excited to meet them. So after the competition ended, they went to like the after party, and I was like, okay, let's go. So I went for like 3 streets straight on high heels, not in drag, but like in like heels and makeup.
Yeah.
And I walked all those streets over there to the venue. When I got to the venue, they just said, oh, you cannot get in here. It's like an 18 plus event. And I was 17 at the time.
Oh no.
Yes, and I spent so much time like making these drawings for them too, and I was so devastated. And I had school the day after it. So I just told to a friend of mine who was 18, I was like, okay, take those paintings, give it to them. I'm gonna get a cab home. And I ordered myself a taxi. And the moment it arrived, I put my hand on the door handle, and she just ran out and she was like, don't go anywhere. Peppermint wants to see you. And Peppermint like walked out and was like running towards me with her hands spread open and was like, come here, baby. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best moment of my life. I like literally fell on the floor sobbing and being like, I can't believe this is happening right now. And I looked shit. If you want, I can send you the photos later. I was just like smudged makeup from crying about not being able to go in. And I was just so touched by this little gesture that she did of just like going out and saying hi to me. And we just had like a lovely talk of like 15 to 20 minutes of just talking about doing drag, being queer. And she was just so nice and lovely and really gave me some awesome words of encouragement that I really needed at the time. So that was incredible.
Yay, we love Peppermint.
So,
Peppermint.
on that note, I think we should take our next little break and we'll do our usual little wrap up and we'll hear some crazy stories in Israel. We'll be right back, kids. Bye.
Bye.
Wig, okay.
I know. Wig. I feel that already.
Wig, okay.
Wig. Did you just say wig?
Wig, okay.
I am ready for my wig.
Oh, and we're back, kids. Our chill session, our green room tea, our hanging out after the gig tea in the dressing room. I feel like this is our segment for that.
It kind of. You're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
We're just like we're just
The Kiki.
shooting shit. Yeah, it's the Kiki. Do you this is Caitlin's question, but I always ask it. Do you think there will ever be a Drag Race Israel or an Israeli Drag Race competition in the future?
Let me give you the tea.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, there's tea.
So it's like, it's not boiling hot, but it's like a simmering type of tea. Lukewarm tea. So there has been touch with the producers of Drag Race Alumni Presents from many Israeli TV companies wanting to produce an Israeli version. There has been a pilot in the making for to try and sell the idea. So far, it is not happening for many reasons that I'm not aware of. I was not like a part of the pilot or anything, but it's like a very known thing in the community that it happened, and I feel like the Israeli audience is becoming more and more ready for it. I think so far the only thing that's holding back is like the overall like international view of it, because it's also like a different language spoken here, and like all of the things that we're not going to talk about, political issues and stuff. But I do feel like it's something that on the horizon, because Israeli drag has stepped it up so much in the past few years, and I feel like there's a need to see that and bring that out to the world.
Yeah, I mean, if they could do Drag Race Holland, like no one speaks Dutch.
Yeah.
They still did it.
Yeah, or how do you say the name of the language that they speak in the Philippines?
Oh, Tagalog. Tagalog.
Tagalog, yeah.
Tagalog, yeah.
So that too, like
they could do it.
I feel like we're going there, yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm glad we got some tea. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, I haven't heard anything. So,
I mean,
exclusive.
I would really love to do Drag Race if it comes to Israel, or if I move to the US. But not soon. I still need more time to grow and figure myself out as an artist, I feel.
Makes sense. I feel like if you came to the US, there's never been, at least on American Drag Race, an Israeli queen.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would make you unique on the show. And that one
I
would
mean, maybe.
bigger like platform, I feel like.
So maybe, maybe I should contact RuPaul. Or...
You have to be like a resident or whatever. I remember because I know Courtney Act and she had like so many hurdles to jump through just to get on the show.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Hopefully.
Why not? Why not? Do you have any future upcoming projects to promote?
So in the moment, like we chose a special time to do this because I have nothing. I have like a few shows planned for the near future, but they're not like talked about yet, so I cannot like promote them. There's a Halloween show coming up. There's like maybe some kind of a ball thing that I might be in the hosting for. But outside of that, it's a pretty chill time. I'm more focused now on working, making some money, and getting ready to go to university. Yeah.
Where are you planning to go?
So there's this school in Israel called Shenkal, which is one of the 10 leading schools in the world for fashion designs. So I really want to go there and work on my skills and get better at it. And so I'm sniffing around, seeing what the terms of and conditions of applying there are for 2023, and we'll see. Hopefully it works.
Come to FIT in New York.
Right.
Oh, I really want to. I just need to find out if there's like maybe what's it called, like a
student visa.
Yeah, with a student visa, or like maybe when they switch like students from around the world.
An exchange program.
An exchange program. Yeah,
they might have it. I mean, well, FIT is SUNY, so there's like a difference between state schools and city schools. But CUNY has I feel like a lot of international students. But most colleges in America have a lot of international.
Yeah,
so I feel like it could totally be possible.
Yeah, that or maybe even Parsons,
Parsons, that's an expensive school.
Girl, there's not a cheap school in
FIT is cheap.
Listen,
even if you're out of
month, I've been in New York for a month, and I can tell you already, nothing is cheap in New York.
That's that. It's true.
Only me.
Only you and your drag.
Sorry, I left you alone in this, Martyr.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. So Caitlin's also other question, just continuing on. What is some of the best advice you've been given in drag or about drag?
Don't take it too seriously. I used to be very like, oh my gosh, this has to be perfect and it has to have a message behind it. And yeah, like I love having a message behind my art and I love having it go perfectly, but it's not about that. It's about going with it, putting yourself out there, having fun mostly. So when you take yourself too seriously, it's like you're probably not going to have fun. B, you're more likely to like fuck up and hate yourself about it. So just have fun about it. Don't take it too seriously. And the other great tip is how to guff your eyebrows that I got from Alexis Michelle. And thank God, because I have like these huge Iraqi eyebrows and I need to know how to cover them.
How do you cover them?
Oh, it's lots of layers of glue. It's Prozade for like 3 layers and then 5 more layers of glue stick.
I have very thin eyebrows, so I don't have to worry that much.
I have very thick eyebrows.
I'm so jealous.
I could get away with 1 layer if I was really. I don't sweat that much either. So
that's true.
I could get away with 1 layer. I usually do 3, but just
I mean, it's just my Iraqi genes. I have thick eyebrows. I sweat a lot, and I'm not built for drag. But does that stop me from doing it? No.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm sure you paint on eyebrows. I literally cover my eyebrows so I don't have eyebrows at all. Like I keep it completely bare up there. So
well, now you do.
Now I do. I used to
have do like paper eyebrows.
Yeah. That's the old Martyr. She's dead.
Paper eyebrows?
Mhm.
Like
Do you-
glue on paper?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Have you seen Dragula season 1? Vandervon
Yeah.
Odd, her eyebrows.
Yes.
I used to do that technique.
That's awesome.
Yeah, not anymore. But enough about me.
Okay, so for our last question, where do you want to take your drag in the future?
So as I said, I would very much love to be on TV with my drag, not necessarily Drag Race, but being able to do what other queens and kings did for me by being out there and representing the community and helping me figure out what I am, what do I do, and what I like. I just want to do that for other little ICs or by my guy name, other guys, which is funny because my name is Guy. But other young kids out there who are like being exposed to it for the first time. I want to be that person for them. So I would love to take my drag to the biggest stage possible and just leave a mark, know that I changed someone's view or someone's perceptions, or maybe even like gave them inspiration.
That's so noble and deep. We don't usually get that on the show.
I'm sorry. I thought it was
That's
completely
good.
Continental. I didn't know it wasn't it.
No, I love it.
You're Miss Congeniality in our hearts.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on our little show.
Oh, thank you
been
so
a
much for having me.
pleasure.
This was so much fun.
I'm glad you had fun, especially at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm so glad I had fun because at least I had fun now that my family is gonna yell at me in the morning for talking.
Send them my way. Send them my
Yeah.
way.
Wigging out, getting drag queens in trouble with their
I'm-
parents.
I'm great with parents. So you'll be fine. Where can the kids find you on the internet?
So you can all find me on Instagram at Icy Moon herself, or in my Israeli drag appreciation page at Isra Drag, or in my fashion design team page, Studio TLV. And just like a little thing, if you want to see a little bit of my art, you can also follow Guy Yochelman Art. It's all in my pages. You can just go over there and you'll see it.
Beautiful. Well, thank you again, babe. It was a pleasure
you.
getting to know ya.
I
it's
loved
been so much
learning
fun.
about not New York.
Yeah, me too. Well, I was Martyr,
I was C Tepper.
and this was Wigging Out. Bye, kids. I hope you enjoy the next bonus episode.
Oh, right. I guess. Bye.
Bye.
I'm C Tepper. You can follow me on Instagram at CTEPPER and read my book, The State of Drag, where I interviewed 175 drag queens from around the world. All proceeds go to charity on Amazon.com.
Ooh, I love that. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Drag the Martyr. And if you have any thoughts, comments, dick pics, send them to dragthemartyr@gmail.com.
Listen, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Pandora.
And catch up with past episodes on WERRRK.com. That's WERRRK.com. Artwork for Wigging Out was provided by Glitter Baby Online. That's Glitter Baby Online. Thank you.